Hey all, Hipper here. So let's just take a quick standard battle in Danae or Danae or whatever it's called today, because that's the ship I used in this ranked season, and it did phenomenally. So I just want to show it off with an agile build in a standard battle. Not that I actually play this ship a lot. I think I played it a handful of times, but it has all the tools you need when you are alone, and in a standard battle, it's not as good as in a one versus one, of course, because it is just super duper squishy. So any errant salvo will hurt. But when you're only up against one other ship, you can control that, and that way you can make the most of the three heals you get here with the ship, the single fire torpedoes, and of course the excellent British sonar. It's not that good down here at tier 3, but it's certainly better than nothing. So I personally had an amazing time in the 1 versus 1 ranked in this season. I thought it was the most fun I've had in this game for a very, very long time. The intensity was just absolutely up there when you were facing a good player, and it just made it so much fun for me, really. So obviously my thoughts have already begun to center around the next ranked season, which is of course tier 4. And well, it's no secret I'll be playing cruisers in every season. There's nothing new there at all. I'll be playing agile cruisers. But tier 4 presents a bit of a problem because there's really no standout agile cruiser at tier 4. We have the French Emile Bertin, and it's fast, yes, but it's not particularly agile. I don't think you can say that. And then there is the premium, the Yahagi, but the torp angles are just so bad on that ship that it's going to be hard to get torps into play, especially against the battleship. So I probably won't be playing that one either. So like I said, it's going to be a very, very difficult choice at tier 4. Probably the hardest tier in my opinion, followed by tier 6. Because at tier 5 I know exactly what I'm going to play, and tier 7 I also have a pretty good idea of what I'm going to play. So I'll probably stick with the British light cruiser line here and just move up to the next one, which is the, I believe it's the Emerald. The tier 4, correct me if I'm wrong, but anyway, very similar to Danae, just the fact that it also gets a smoke, which I'm sure will help out quite a bit here. So you get heals, smoke, and sonar. So that's a lot of help when you are facing only one other player. And of course you also get the single fire torpedoes, and they are worth gold in this mode here, I promise you that. One thing that I don't like much about the tier 4 British light cruiser, and I think it's Emerald, but yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, is the fact that it's actually not very agile. The rudder is about 5 seconds, and that's the same as the French cruiser. So like I said, tier 4 is going to be a pretty tough one actually to pick. Probably I'm guessing the tier where I'll struggle the most, because there's not really a cruiser that I know will do well the way I play. And that's a bit of a shame, really. And I was thinking of investing my steel into the Murmansk, because that is the tier 4 and it's super agile and it has torpedoes. But then, I don't know, I'm not going to spend steel just to have a cruiser for one ranked season. So like I said, I'll probably end up with one of the British, either the light or the heavy cruiser. One of those, I'm not sure which one, simply because the utility is just all the way up there. You only get AP shells, of course, so that means usually you'll have to deal with battleships with torpedoes, but it's not really much of a problem, because one battleship facing a cruiser is I think it's a pretty unfair fight. The cruiser will always have the upper hand, especially when there's a cap involved. Because as an agile cruiser, you are very fast, and you will definitely get to the cap before any other cruiser or battleship, and you'll be ahead on points before they even make it to the cap. And that means, yeah, you have the advantage right off the bat. And of course, facing a destroyer in a cruiser is probably even easier. It's definitely not hard, because if you get into the cap, which you will, and as soon as the destroyer gets in, you will know, and you'll have a pretty good idea where he is, because there's only one direction he can come from, pretty much. And it's just a matter of popping the sonar on and using that British AP to take the destroyer out quickly and easily. The biggest problem is actually other cruisers, I think. But as you can see here, where I get going in Danae, because you have that British acceleration boost and you have an Agile build on your cruiser, you will always be able to outwit them and outmaneuver them. And with the single fire torps, unless you make a huge mistake, you will be able to torp any other cruiser. It's just a matter of, well, playing the Agile way, basically. I had a lot of cruisers firing their one bank of torpedoes at me, and of course with an Agile build I can stop on a dime and turn on a dime, and I can accelerate on a dime. So avoiding torpedoes is not that difficult. And once they have spent their torpedoes, well, it's just a matter of first of all avoiding a ram. But even like I never got rammed, and I never rammed anyone in the first season. Because I was always ahead on points, so ramming me would just be like an automatic loss. So make sure you are ahead on points. That's the most important part. After that, you can pretty much just hide the whole 15 minutes if you want to do that, and then force any battleship to take you on in like a position where you choose. And usually that means goodbye to the battleship. I mean, especially with the British acceleration, because they will never be able to actually catch you off guard, and that's what battleships do. Because there's only two of you, and you know exactly where they are. And yeah, single fire torpedoes, absolutely a must in these 1-to-1, well, 1 versus 1 battles here, in my opinion. I mean, that's just my opinion, but certainly I would have a hard time without them. Half of my kills in the first season were torpedo kills. So I'd love to hear what you guys actually think about this 1 versus 1 ranked, because like I said, I think it's fantastic. I think it's exactly what this game here needed, and I think it needs to be a permanent game mode. Absolutely. And I think this is just really scratching, you know, the surface of what this game here is really capable of. Because if you can invite, you know, single players into a 1 versus 1, you're going to have some very, very interesting, you know, situations going down. And I bet a lot of people would be interested in watching 1 versus 1s, like, for example, Aaron versus Peak 1 versus 1 in the same ship or something like that, or me versus Aaron, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I know I would watch that pretty much religiously, and it's one of those areas where this game has so much potential, and unfortunately it's just not there yet from the developers. The game is absolutely packed with potential, especially a competitive mode like that. I mean, clan battles are great. I can't wait till we get it. But clan battles in combination with 1 versus 1 battles, I think this would really make this game here grow as not a spectator sport, but as a spectating game, like a game that you can stream more and more people enjoy watching. Because you can have tournaments and all kinds of interesting stuff like that. And you don't have to wait for Wargaming to set up these seemingly random seasons here. If you have a permanent game mode. So I am definitely going to suggest to the Wargaming guys that this is an area where they have struck gold. And look at these single fire torps here, they are just so good. and Danae has 6 of them. I'm a little bit lucky here that he doesn't notice I'm sitting on the island. But like I said, Danae has 6 of them, and see here, if I had normal torpedoes, I wouldn't be able to fire again. But because I only spent 1 of my torpedoes, I have plenty left, and I can take advantage of every opportunity that's presented to me. And that's how you win these one-on-ones here, in my opinion. Again, it's just my opinion. If you have a different opinion, let me know in the comments, and I'm sure we'll find common ground somewhere. But anyway, like I said, 1 versus 1 ranked is fantastic, and it really has to stay in the game, in my opinion, for, you know, a very easy way of making this game attract a lot more attention than it currently does. And that's a shame, because this is a fantastic game. One of the games I've been, well, actually the game I've been playing the longest and for most hours ever, and I've been playing for 30 years. Well, yes, I have. Anyway, that was just a standard Danae battle here for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you out there.